Hello, and a very warm welcome to my channel. This morning, we give you a piece of breaking news. Who profited? Meghan Markle's fake personality itself is the answer. Meghan Markle first met Jessica while she was filming legal drama suits in Toronto, and the stylist went on to attend her wedding to Prince Harry in 2018. But today, a sources claim Meghan Markle's friends were concerned for some time that Jessica Maroney was profiting from a relationship with the royal. Wow, such a planned story to try and whitewash, no pun intended, history. Jessica was obviously a fairly important friend. Her kids played prominent roles at the royal wedding. That's what you do with your close friends' kids. Although we all have learned how fickle Meghan is, the same pals who weren't concerned at any point that Meghan was profiting from her friendship with Jessica up to the point she no longer had anything left to give her. Pure hypocrisy. Over the last few weeks, Jessica's white privilege scandal has cost her business deals, partnerships, TV shows, and Meghan has even reportedly ended their friendship for good. An insider has now revealed how Meghan's closest pals had long held worries about the stylist, telling Entertainment Tonight Meghan's friends have been concerned for some time that Jessica has been profiting from a relationship with Meghan and using it to further her brand. I don't believe she would drop Jessica like that, but then again, she has a history of dropping people like objects as soon as they are of no use to her. This is a woman who abandoned her own dad. That being said, it's hilarious that Meghan and her so-called friends would accuse Jessica of profiting from their friendship. A few years ago, Meghan was the one profiting from Jessica when she was a newcomer and nobody in Toronto. Jessica opened the door to Toronto Who's Who and to the Trudeaus. She used her contacts to meet Harry. How does she think she met him? By walking down the street? She then profits from and uses the royal family as well as is using her so-called Hollywood friends, using their private jets and living rent-free in their mansions, who oblige because they want to be friends with the royals. So they are all using each other. Meghan the First. Back to this report. The source said that Prince William and Prince Harry would never accept behavior like Jessica's from their own friends and loved ones. However, they added that Meghan had valued the stylist's friendship over the years, saying, Jessica has been a source of strength for Meghan in the past during some of her most difficult times. However, a user named Harry Markle tweeted, It's obvious from the photos where she's draping herself all over Jessica, she was clinging to her for dear life. She even mirrored her with her clothes and hairstyle. Markle profited from her friendship with Jessica Maroney as she was a total nobody when she arrived in Canada. They took her into their lives, family, and friendships which were high profile. This is disgraceful but very predictable. A royal fan replied to him, Unbelievable how Meghan rewrites the narrative every single time. The only interest Meghan has is for people she can benefit and profit from. It is staggering how she lies, postures, pretends, and then switches 180 degrees on a dime. Her behavior is pathological. Harry, don't think you are special or different. You will be in the crosshairs as soon as your usefulness has ended. And of course, the timing of this today, trying to upstage the darling, warm, loving family photographs for William's 38th birthday yesterday. Indeed, a fan so angrily and commented on this news. Who profited? Markle grabbed onto Jessica the minute she landed in Toronto and used her and her husband's connections to the royal family in order to bag Harry. Jessica even babysat Archie at the Toronto rental house when Harry and Meghan went to England for the grand finale earlier this year. It's getting pretty crowded under the Markle bus now. Markle is a friend to no one. Meanwhile, a fan from Toronto said, As a Canadian, I never knew anything about Jessica since I didn't move in the social circles she did. But she is from the very wealthy and connected family who own brown shoes, and she is married to the son of a former prime minister. Missing from the article is that Jessica was the one who got Harry and Meghan together. At the time, Meghan was, and still is, a D-list celebrity and would never have been in the same social circles as Harry without Jessica. Harry needs to watch out. Meghan will dump him in a flash if she has a better offer. Meanwhile, on the Daily Mail, many fans also slammed them. The first wrote, The biggest irony here is that Meghan is creating enemies and abandoning family and friends who made mistakes. that she is convinced is damaging her new name. What an ego, and for what? To save reputation she doesn't have because of her own greedy and dishonest behavior that the public knows all about? He added, I thought Jessica had a successful career and a higher social position in Canada before she met Meghan. She had the contacts through her husband's family that Meghan needed. She would be nowhere without Jessica. Another person used and discarded by Meghan. What a sad way to live your life, and what a terrible reputation to have. A fan agreed and said, just like Meghan profited from all of Jessica's high society connections before she was famous, it goes both ways. Apparently, Meghan Markle didn't get the memo of, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. More like, you scratch my back, then I'm ditching you once I get bigger than you. However, a fan remarked, Finding Freedom, 2 years in the making with diaries and biographers from the get-go? Is that not a premeditated and highly calculated plan to capitalize and profiteer on the British royal family? Markle is hardly one to talk about using people and manipulating situations. And as for Moroni, another one that's been well and truly Markled. Mock sympathy, foul humanitarian Markle no longer has any need for Moroni. And the last one concludes, really? Recap. Meghan Markle climbed Jessica's skirt to get to be part of the Soho crowd. Jessica lent Meghan Markle her family's private jet so she could fly on Skippy's wedding. Jessica is of vast wealth. Jessica did have a charity long before Meghan Markle was in the picture. Jessica did take to social media to support Meghan Markle many times, and she was one of the 5 friends. January 2020, Jessica looked after Archie while Meghan Markle was in the UK, a mere 5 months ago. And these friends make claims against Jessica? Jessica is a shallow, mean girl, but she is not a manipulative, social climbing opportunist like Markle is. I think Jessica knows where the secret lays. She would write a book. I would buy it. We continue with another news. Loose Women's Carol McGiffin slates Prince William and Kate for trying too hard. Loose Women panelist Carol McGiffin accused the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge of trying too hard with their latest batch of family photos from the lockdown. Loose Women panelist Carol McGiffin made it clear she wasn't impressed by Prince William and Kate Middleton's most recent family photos, as the conversation turned to the royals on today's show. The 60-year-old ITV star accused the royal family of trying way too hard to make it look like they're just like us, after new photos emerged over the weekend. Looking at the photos, panelists Carol, Jane Moore, Andrea McLean, and Kel Bryan were left divided over casual nature of the photos. While Kel felt it was about time the royals were allowed to show a mere human side to the public, Jane and Carol felt it wasn't representative of traditional royal values. Jane urged the monarchy to be careful when sharing family photographs in the future, in case the public starts to tire of financially supporting the monarchy through the tax system. Nodding in agreement, Carol insisted, I do think they're trying way too hard to make it look like they're just like us. Revealing she had been watching Netflix dramas The Crown recently, she added, I want them to be royal. Carol said, I'm kind of hankering for those days when the royals just the manners and the etiquette. The Loose Women star also scoffed at a recent comment made by Prince William, in which he claimed he was looking forward to going to the pub once the lockdown lifted. Meanwhile, on Twitter, certain viewers disagree with Carol's remarks, as they urged the panelists to adopt a more positive perspective. One said, how does Carol know William doesn't go to the pub? A second added, these kids are looking well. How kids are meant to look. Give this discussion a miss. While a third chimed, let the royals wear what they want when they're not at events. For me, I think that they just can't win. They share their family, you bash them. They don't share their family, you still bash them. Maybe the problem is with you, the people. With Meghan, long before Markle would become someone publicly significant, she was profiting from the friendship with Jessica. She practically had befriended the elite of Canada and got a ticket to the upper class. If anyone has profited from that, it was Markle. So all those pals and insiders can go and F themselves with Markle in tow. They used each other, starting with Markle using Moroni to get into high society in Canada, including become friends with the Prime Minister's wife. This made her more appealing to the British royal family. You would think that a real friend would be happy that her friend was getting something in return. Now Jessica's husband has left a show he anchored because of this drama. And you, what do you think about my news? Please let me know in the comments section and we'll discuss it. Remember to like and share my video for anyone you think they also loved it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get more news from the royal family. Now, goodbye, and see you in the next videos.